All right, my friends. So this is part two of three. This is budgeting for life after high school. This is from Ramsey Classroom, Ramsey Solutions. And this is going to be chapter two, lesson six. And so this scenario deals with someone named James. James is working, he's doing his thing, and he does have some credit card debt. And he went ahead and he bought himself a new car. Unfortunately, James makes $47,000 a year, and he bought a car that is $28,000. That's $19,000 difference. Um, and that's not a lot of flex room. He has a big amount of payments. He also contributes for his health insurance, his disability. He contributes to his 401k, things like that. Now, some things are fixed, some things might vary. So, his net annual income. Well, we know his net annual income. We know what his gross annual income. In part one of this assignment, we multiplied what his income was, his net annual income. What we're going to do is I'm going to pull up my calculator and I'm going to say $47,000. I'm going to multiply it by 80%. Point 0.8 is 80%. His net annual income is 37,600. Okay, 37,600. Now, another thing is we're going to be looking at his monthly income. If we're thinking, oops, excuse me, if this is his annual income and we know that we're looking at the monthly amount and there's 12 months a year, we can just take this number and divide it by 12, which is 3133. I'm going to leave the pennies off of this. $3,133. Okay. So again, we took it and we multiplied it by 0.8, which is 80%. All right. So we have his income, his job, which is $3,133. Okay. I went ahead and I looked ahead. I noticed that his rent, my kids are home and screaming, sorry, 1200. He also has ID and renter's insurance, so identity theft and renter's insurance. And that amount is 25 bucks, which is pretty cheap, I think, in my opinion. Not very expensive, not cheap, just not very expensive. He also has another health insurance. And this amount is, I'm looking at two screens here, $185. And the next one, he has a retirement account, which is great. Definitely, definitely, definitely encourage that. $157, that's not very much. I appreciate it. He has a car insurance. That's not very much for a car insurance for full insurance. I know that he's probably going to have full insurance because it says he just went and he bought himself a car. He's got monthly payments. So when you buy a new car, and you have monthly payments, you're going to need and you're going to be required to have full car insurance. He also has utilities, which means overhead costs like electricity. Oops, 100, not 10. $100. He has a cell phone. Oops, not that box, which I think was $85. Perfect. Okay. Then he has satellite TV, which was $80. He has his credit card. Silly goose. Now, on his credit card, it's actually at 17%, which is lower than, oh, why did I write credit twice? Than a lot of other places. But on his credit card, he's only making him the minimum payment. I did the math and he's going to be paying an extra 1,300, I think, $1,400 just because of interest, just in fees. Then he also had his car payment. Gosh, this guy has a lot going on. $554. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. Excuse me. All right, so his balance on his credit card is $3,235. His car in which he financed is $28,000. I've got his disability insurance, his health insurance. I've got his retirement on there. Okay, so now I also noticed that when I was looking at this, he doesn't give any money away. So he doesn't give any money, $0, $0. I noticed that he only has one source of income. He doesn't do any side hustling, no plasma or anything. And he's not putting any money, NA for not applicable, He's not putting any money in there either. Okay, so now I'm going to math all this up, okay? So let's see. 1200 plus, oops, 1200 plus 25 plus 185, 157, 120, 100, 85, 80. I got 2656. Did you get the same amount? I think that's right. $2,656. So he gave $0. He put nothing in savings and he spent 2,656. So if we take this amount, and this amount. So again, he's got three areas. He's got expenses for giving, savings, and spending. All right, so his total expenses here are 2,656. So he's got his income up here, which is $3,133. Take away his expenses, 2,656. Let's map that out. He's only got $477 left to budget. That's not very much. That is not very much. So, unfortunately, James is not making very good choices. I'm not sure. Yeah, it is not letting me. Let me see if I can reload it on my other screen. If I were James, now I know that you did not ask that, but if I were James, I would get the very first thing I would get rid of is the car, because not only can you get rid of the car, but you can also get rid of the car insurance. So if he was to get rid of the car and the car insurance, 554 plus car insurance, it's 120. He's already going to have close to $674 each month. Okay. Another thing that he could do if I were James is if he's only willing to have, if he wants to keep the car, then he needs to get more money. He needs to have another source of income. He can go sell plasma. He can do online work. There's lots and lots and lots of jobs that he can do online. He can cut out the satellite TV. He could probably not cut back on the utilities. He could definitely do that. I don't know about how his cell phone is. Not like everybody wants to go to a landline, if that's even a thing anymore. Um, it's really important to have, I think, the rest of these. If he's in a one-bedroom apartment, then it's not like he can get a roommate, but he could, if it was a multiple bedroom apartment, he could get a roommate. So those are some of my ideas. I'm not sure what the other questions might be, because my, um, oh, here we go. Let's see. I know it's taking a second. So again, he could use public transportation instead. And those are items that he could do. I don't see food on here. If he has $477, where's his food category? Where's his fun category? Right? Where's his gas? I don't see any of that on there. So those are things to consider for him. All right, next assignment, part 3 of this, of if he didn't have a credit card, if he didn't have a car payment, we're going to go from there.